Okay. All right, I think we are live. We got the audio check, video check. We got the green light. Green light. Looks like we're good to go. Hello, everybody. Maybe I'll scooch over a little bit this way. There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Saturday morning for us. Friday evening for many of you. I'm just losing my... It's early. Still early for me here. Saturday mornings. 8 a.m. here in Japan. 7 p.m. Eastern for most of you who are at least on the Eastern side of things. Tell me what time it is where you are, where you're tuning in from. This is the weekly Naked Famous Denim live stream here on YouTube, as you guys would imagine, because you're probably watching us on YouTube. Mm-hmm. All right. Dry opening there. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. We've got a lot of familiar faces in the chat here. Maybe I should introduce myself. I'm sure there's some people who don't know who I am. Maybe they're tuning in for the first time. If you're tuning in for the first time, press the like button now. Do it now. Do it now. My name is Bezad from Naked Famous Denim. What do? I do these live streams. I do a lot of things. Answer your emails. Product development, sales, website, you name it, I do it. Risa, what do you do?
I do everything as well, I guess.
Yeah, we pretty much do it all.
Yes.
We're a small company, as many of you may already set here. It's It's not a typical streaming set, but you know what? It does the job. We provide hopefully good information for you guys here about raw denim, Naked and Famous Denim, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of off-topic conversation as well. Let's check in with the chat. We've got the chat room. Chat room, is that still a term? I guess so. Live chat room.
Yeah.
Do people still use chat rooms? Don't know. All right. Will Sox, hi from London, UK. Welcome. Dean Crowley, hello from Idaho. Francisco Michael, hi from Chicago. We got Rights W5, hello from Birmingham, UK. JS, hello from Sacramento. Max, Denver, Colorado. We got Pete McLeod. Hi all from Toronto, hometown of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Imperial Valley, California, and it's 4 p.m. where you're watching. All right, that's a good time. That's a good time in the afternoon.
Friday too.
Yeah, Friday at 4. Hopefully you're already off work, but if not, you're almost there. Pedro Cortez, he's the godfather of denim. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I'll take it. I will accept the title.
I actually don't know what it means when people say the godfather of.
Like the boss.
That like you're the top dog.
Sure. Yeah. The boss. You know, when like in the movie.
That you've never seen.
I've never watched The Godfather. Admittedly, we bought the trilogy. Because you've also, or have you never seen it before?
No, I have seen
it. Oh, right.
Yes.
I've never watched it.
I don't think I've seen the 3, though. I think I only saw the two.
That's definitely a movie that everyone has watched, I feel, that I've never watched. I don't know why. I feel like it's also a long movie. And so I sometimes I just avoid watching long movies. Like, I've watched all the Lord of the Rings, even the extended ones. I've watched them all once. Like, I watched it in theaters, and then I bought the DVDs. The extended DVDs, watched them all once, and I've never watched them again.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, I don't think it's a movie that you watch over and over. I mean, I guess some people do.
Yeah, but the extended ones are like 4 hours. And it's just like, okay. That's an afternoon. I can't do it. The Moor, greetings from the DMV. Greetings. Vince Chan, Bezad, International Man of Mystery.
Oh.
International man, maybe. Not so mysterious. Mystery? No, I'm very open. I'm very, I'm accessible. You can send me DMs on Instagram, emails, chat with me here. I'm not so mysterious. I can't even hold a secret. I'm very bad at secret holding.
Bad at it.
I let you guys know all the products well before anything happens. Chris Loron. Hey there, any plans to re-release your recycled Selvedge later this year? Not later this year. We will go...
I'm gonna go check on
Sure. We will probably do another recycled Selvedge down the line, so just sit tight. We've definitely got you covered. Okay. Frank M., you don't have to watch The Lord of the Rings all the way through. You're right, but if I watch a movie, it's movie time. I gotta sit down. I gotta watch the whole thing. And I can't. I can't watch a movie on my phone. You know, I gotta be in the zone. It's a whole thing. Frank M. It can be more like a 6-movie trilogy. Yeah, there's the Hobbit movies also.
Yeah,
which I own,
those.
which I haven't watched. We got them.
I did see one of the Lord of the Rings in theaters, though. That was a movie worth watching.
It came out like every Christmas for 3 years, somewhere around then. So it was always an event. I remember going to watch it. Adam N. Hello from Winnipeg. Dennis Wethmer. Greetings from the Netherlands. Greetings. Milad A. Hello from Hamburg, Germany. Invis Ian. You guys wear many denim hats. True. Slang means working many jobs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got that one. Denim hats. But we do wear a lot of hats at the old Naked and Famous Denim company. That's for sure. You know, we will be going back to Montreal sometime this summer. So we can give you a little bit more insight as to like what goes on behind the scenes in Montreal. Mm-hmm. You know, we last time we were there was like in November. We were doing some live streams from the office, but I think we'll have some more time to, you know, I kind of want to do a day in the life video of Tatsu and Yoko and Naked and Famous Denim in general. Show you like basically how the whole process works. You know, morning, do our emails, go checking on the warehouse, getting wholesale orders ready, getting, you know, shipments ready for retail, like, you know, restocking the store, like just a whole day of like craziness. I think it'd be kind of fun to see.
Whole day of a bunch of different people.
Yeah. It'll be like
because one person's whole day is kind of boring.
Right. It'll be like Pulp Fiction, a little bit of everybody's day, right? And how it all intermingles at the end. But yeah, hopefully no deaths. I hope. Fingers crossed, everybody. Yes. Fingers crossed. Please give us an update on the much anticipated MIJ10. Juan Mesa writes. Yes, so we had the sample here many weeks ago. We definitely showed it off on stream. Mm-hmm. We don't have the sample anymore. We sent those to Montreal, so they're sitting in Canada land right now.
No, it's not. It's back in Japan.
Do you have it?
No. It's the...
Okay, so we don't have... Somebody has it. I don't have it. I don't know where they are.
Yeah, so we're getting the second set of samples ready now.
What is the first set of samples?
Back at the factory.
Oh, okay. Well, then somebody has it. We don't have it. But that said, if I don't know which episode it was, but you're going to have to click back through a couple to see the actual physical samples, because we did show them off. Luckily, we do have the timestamps in the older video, so you're going to have to go through and find it that way. That said, MIJ10, 10th iteration of the MIJ series, and we're going with one of our kind of iconic Naked and Famous Denim fabrics for this one, and that is the Okayama Spirit 1. The original Okayama Spirit, 16-ounce, heavyweight, well, heavier weight, I wouldn't call it like a super heavyweight, big slub denim. That was one of the denims that really put us on the map, you know, especially for slubby denim, right? There's so much texture, there's so much to that fabric, and I just remember putting it up for the first time, and like that was a lot of people's first kind of foray into that type of denim world. Or, you know, if you're watching this live stream, you probably know a little bit more about denim than the average bear, but even back then, you know, even a basic kind of raw selvage was very, I would say, yeah, I would classify it as very special, right? There just wasn't a lot of it, you know, in the early 2010s, you know, when people would just see a selvage denim, they're like, wow, holy cow, that's Japanese denim. And now, you know, especially because, you know, in our world, you know, we've seen a lot, you know, we know what's going on. Maybe to, you know, newcomers to raw denim, you know, a basic selvage is certainly when you're first getting into raw denims, it's much more exciting than, you know, you've had that basic raw for a couple years. You've worn it, you understand it. You've seen so many different variations now at this point, but there wasn't a lot of variation back then still. So you get that first taste of slubby denim, and you know, from there, you know, we've been able to, you know, create more iterations of the Okayama spirit, you know, go into the Japan heritage, you know, add, you know, different kind of lines of slubby denim options. So I'm very excited to bring that one back. Just because, I mean, for me, it's kind of a nostalgia trip, but I also think it's a great way to reintroduce a fabric. You know, it was such a premium, like, mind-blowing fabric when that came out. And now to give it, like, the MIJ treatment and give it, like, all of the full kind of nerdy denim details at the same time, I think it's going to be a pretty important release. So that's coming.
It just looks really good.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, the texture is great. It's hairy. It's slubby. We're gonna have the sheepskin leather patch on there. Yeah, I mean, all the MIJ details combined with that fabric, out of the park. I think if you're, should I say it? If you're waiting, like, there's a lot of good jeans coming up, so it's hard to say which one is the one to wait for.
But I mean, if you're waiting for, you know, it's be like, when did we release MIJ9? You know, it's
fall.
been a while.
Yeah,
if you're looking for, MIJ series, this is worth the wait. Over a year, a whole year.
When is it coming out? This fall.
This fall.
Yeah. So it was wait from the previous year. Yeah. Is it the fall jean to get? That's a good question. There's a lot of good jeans coming out this fall. I can't even answer that. It's
if you're like texture nerd, I think this might be
the most textured denim for.
Right?
Yeah.
What are we doing for fall?
Well, there's the Firebird, which is pretty nice also.
Yeah.
I have it, so I'll show that one off.
Right.
Stay tuned. I got a couple of fall previews. That's a good question. I'm gonna have to think about that one. I'm not sure. It's very hard because you're picking children at this point. Right. You're like, which is my favorite kid? There's always a favorite kid, but your parents will never tell you. Sometimes they'll tell you. You know what we have to do after we release the fall winter 2022 preview video, which, by the way, the MIJ10 is not in that video. You guys tell us, which one's your favorite child? You know, which one? It might be easier for you guys because these are not your children. You're picking children. These are our children that we made. That's always a tough one. Which it's every now and then we get that question. What's your favorite jean of all time? And I feel like that answer, the answer to that changes.
Yeah, of course, because you can't remember all of your children.
Yeah,
it's just too many.
We have this many kids. I'm talking about jeans, by the way. Anyone tuning in right now? It's a tough one. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
Matthew Jennings, any more JoJo collab to spoil? Nothing yet.
Yeah, nothing yet.
Yeah, we designed the pocket flashers.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything about that
That has to get approved. So pocket flashers, for those who may not know, are the cards that go on the back pocket of the jean. We call that a pocket flasher. So Risa designed them. I think they're pretty cool. They're inspired by if you were a kid growing up in the 90s and you went to, like, if you're in North America, you probably had to go to Chinatown for this kind of thing. But, like, and I'm sure they had them here. I mean, these cards definitely came from here. But, you know, we had these little, where I grew up in Chinatown, there was always these little card vending machines.
Did they come from here?
They had Japanese writing on them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we could buy Street Fighter.
Of that kind of cards?
I think it came from here. Here being Japan. So we had these little card machines, and, like, you know, you would be able to buy, like, baseball cards and like, you know, hockey cards and things like that. But, like, there were, like, these Dragon Ball and Street Fighter and Sailor Moon, and they were, like, these cards with, like, you know, metallic foil and like, holographic kind of colors and things like that. And, you put the coin in, you turn the little knob and the card would come out. And so anyways, it's kind of based off of that. So I used to collect those cards when I was a kid. I thought it would be a fun way to do that. So if it's approved, it'll be very flashy. It'll be pretty cool, I think. So anyways, wait on that one. But yeah, we have to wait on the approval, and then they're gonna go to printing. Anyways, yeah, they probably won't be there when we are in Montreal. What the prints? Anyways, we'll see.
A sample prints.
Yeah. Little Len, UB isn't a famous brand. UB isn't
Naked and Famous brand.
Wait, UB isn't Naked and Famous brand. Why? How did I read that wrong? Because I can't read. Little Len, UB isn't Naked and Famous brand. UB being the unbranded brand is not Naked and Famous, but it is owned by us. We also make the unbranded brand. So if anybody's confused about that, yeah, that is that's the little baby brother to Naked and Famous Denim. I'm sure most of you people know that. It's an open secret, I think. Well, definitely, as I just said it. But for the longest time, like, we never denied or, we certainly let people know that we make that.
Right. We just don't say the unbranded brand by Naked and Famous Denim.
Yeah, it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Hobbs Calvin. Hey, Bezad, nice shirt. Is that something you guys sell? The T-shirt is something we sell, but this is a little customized. Mm-hmm. So this is our circular knit white T-shirt, Naked and Famous Denim one. I had this one for quite a while, and we decided to dye it with indigo. Mm-hmm. So we bought a little dye kit from Amazon, and we just dunked a couple of our old white tees and white towels and things like that, things that we're just starting to wear, mm-hmm. and we gave it a new life, and it looks great, I think.
But that was a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. Yeah. So I've been wearing this. I've probably had this T-shirt for like almost a decade. Probably. Right? It's been a long time. I've owned this T-shirt for a long time, and it had its wear and life as a white T-shirt, and now it's an indigo dyed T-shirt. This is also one of our kimono shirts. Just throwing it on for the morning. Let's do a fit check. Fit check. We've got the raw cotton slub, kimono shirt, Naked and Famous Denim T-shirt, indigo dyed. Mm-hmm. This is an older kimono shirt.
Yeah, but it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great one. I don't remember what season it's from, but
fall 20.
Fall 20 maybe? Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Just, don't sleep on these kimono shirts. I know most of you don't. We do tend to sell pretty much all of them out every time. So I love these things. They're just easy to throw on. Mm-hmm. Even just lounging around at home, it's such an easy thing to wear. Mm-hmm. Nice to know. How about your jacket? Yeah, so this is a kimono shirt, like I said. Right. Little Len, wanting to purchase the Elephant XS in Easy Guy, as that is my favorite fit. The heaviest denim weight from you guys I have is 12.5 ounce. What does the XS feel like? Soft, carpet, heavy like coveralls? Feels like a weighted blanket. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good way to describe heavyweight denim to people who haven't got into very heavyweight denim, right? It just feels dense. Yeah. When you get, like, you'll get that pair of jeans, immediately you'll be like, whoa, like, mm-hmm. this is a hefty piece of clothing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But excess stretch.
Yeah.
So shouldn't be too hard to.
No, you'll be able to.
Break.
Yeah, you'll be able to get into them. Yeah. And the stretch you'll notice a little bit more as you wear it, mm-hmm. but getting into heavyweight denim for the first time, it's gonna be. I think it's a pretty exciting experience because you're just like, I don't know. It's like it's a new sensation, and you're just like, okay, like this is different, and like I feel it, like, mm-hmm. and it's such a tangible difference also. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, if you pick up a pair, enjoy them. I think you'll have a good time wearing those. Pedro Cortez, here's an idea for pocket flashers, maybe for a Pokemon collab, if and when it happens. have perforations on the flasher so it can be cut out like a Pokemon card for all the collectors out there. I don't think the perforations are needed because if you just remove it, then it's a card on its own.
Maybe to the size of like trading cards. I don't know.
Oh, that could be something. That I don't know. Yeah, like if you would cut it, like if you cut, like on the back of a cereal box. When I was a kid, sometimes on the back of the cereal box, they'd have like, pictures and you'd cut them out and stuff.
Huh.
I don't know. That could be something.
Yeah.
That could be something. That's an interesting. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. If just in general, like as an idea, if you were to have like some kind of cutout thing on the back of a pocket flasher.
Especially if we make a bunch of those jeans and all of them have that, like.
Because or like on the back side of the pocket flasher, like you'd have some kind of graphic and you can cut out. It might be a little artwork or something that you could. Because I know, for me, like I've always collected my tags of things. Like I have a giant bag of tags, and also because we have to design these, so I like to have a bunch of references. But even when when I was getting into fashion and things like that, I always kept the tags. I always liked like a nice little, card or pocket flash or hang tag, whatever it was. And I know every now and then I get on Instagram, people are like, oh, here's all my Naked Famous Denim, pocket flashers. And it's pretty cool. Like we got a big old pile of them in there.
Mm-hmm. You go through some of them?
Huh? Yeah, let's go through a couple of them. Yeah, memory lane. Little Len, I slept with a 15-pound weighted blanket every night for 4 years, so that helps. Well, there you go, 15 pounds. Would you become a bodybuilder after that? How does... okay, let's take a look at some of these pocket flashers. Yeah. So we have... So there's actually 3 shapes of pocket flasher. Mm-hmm. Let's find like more of a classic Naked and Famous one first. Yeah, like here's that one. That's fine. So here's like a regular size pocket flasher. You get the fold down here, so that goes behind the pocket. That's in the front, and then we have like a tacking machine that tacks. We do 2 tacks, one on the top and then one on the bottom. Tack obviously on the top to keep that top part secure, and then on the bottom just so that doesn't flop around when it's being shipped and handled and things like that. So we've got like the typical Naked and Famous Denim ones with the fun graphics. We work with a couple of different artists on these, but over the years, like these graphics have certainly, I think, improved a lot. Mm-hmm. When we started Naked and Famous, it was all Brandon doing them, and they were just text. And
and in the bad
clip
fonts.
art, bad fonts. They were we literally just made them, over a couple of hours. But then over time, we started, getting more and more, fun graphics involved. And then we have things like, what we do for like the special collaborations on like the hot gloss, that type of thing. With the Dragon Ball ones, I don't have any of the Dragon Ball flashers here, but that had like the metallic holofoil kind of stuff. I really enjoy doing those kind of ones.
The Toxic Avenger one was great.
Right. And then it had like the glowing eyes on the Toxic Avenger one.
Yeah, those are great.
And then we also have like flashers for denim jackets. So these are always cut to fit just underneath the button, so it'll go like right here and then just hang on the front of the jacket. And it'll contain the same information, same graphic, just kind of, obviously formatted in a different shape. And then there's, the ladies' pocket flasher, depending on the pocket, because sometimes the ladies' pockets, we have bigger pockets, and then we'll use the bigger pocket flasher. But on the smaller pockets, we'll have the smaller pocket flasher. So there's actually 2 sizes of these. You'll also, for the ladies' jeans, we have 2 sizes. We have a leather patch. Depends on, like, the style.
No, leather patch
is always a small one?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's supposed to be.
Little Len, I keep the Naked and Famous girl cardboard pieces on my mini fridge with a reflective silver sticker. Well, there you go. Yeah, and if you do buy from Tate and Yoko, we try to ship you some stickers and stuff like that to go with your order. So there's always always little like Naked and Famous Denim keepsake trinket things there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's take a look. We got the Okay I'm a Spirit 4. The denim jacket pocket flasher Elephant 9. This was a fun one. I really like that one.
9 is great.
Yeah, we got the riding the elephant hardcore there.
Yeah, I also like this fox, brown fox. Yeah, brown fox.
Brown fox. Yeah, I love it. I like the fact that the end of the tail kind of looks like a mountain. But yeah, great. Now that's a good question. Which is our like favorite pocket flasher design?
Yeah, I'm
that's
going
a
through.
tough one.
But the thing is, like, we only have like the
last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we when we go to the office, we can find a ton of old ones. We've got We've got a bunch of them hanging around the office.
Yeah.
So
This one's a good one.
Chinese New Year. Yeah.
The metallic.
Yeah. So these are always made to represent Chinese red pocket. If you know the culture, so. You get these little red envelopes with money in it, so a little kind of similar design detail to that, and you've got the metallic gold. Little Len, yes, you guys even threw in the extra fabric from when I had them hemmed into shorts. That's right. If you ever get anything hemmed from us, we do throw in the extra fabric, so you can use that for patching or whatever it is that you need to do. Can't throw away my pocket flashers, mini works of art. Yeah, we got the MIJ one over here. So the MIJ flashers, they tend to be the same design, just with updated colors each time and updated, text information. So we got the MIJ one there. What do you got? New York City.
New York City one. Yeah. If you haven't seen the jeans,
Empire State Selvedge.
It's like a
newspaper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a New York, local newspaper cover. We have, we got like the movie one. So we got the Matrix. Like these ones are pretty obvious. I think maybe we didn't have the time, but this one should have been like a metallic foil.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I think it was just we didn't have the time to get the paper for the printing. So that one definitely, I think we missed out on that opportunity with that one. That should have been a little bit nicer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty. Yeah. We got Pickle Rick.
Yeah.
Morty. You got Rick over here. And
we're missing
Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Oh, here.
There we go. Mr. PB. I really liked making this jean. This one made me so happy to make Mr. Poopy Butthole. Also, just because I wanted buyers and stuff to say Mr. Poopy Butthole. So it had to happen. Also, I like the way we released it. Kind of like Akuma. It was unannounced. This was the unannounced secret release. Also, there will be no secret release for JoJo's, by the way.
Yeah, it's hard to keep a secret when there's
Yeah. I mean, I kept this one a secret. Although, if you watched the Rick and Morty videos, in each video there was a little picture of Mr. Poopy Butthole in the video somewhere. So nobody caught that. I thought somebody would catch it. Like, why is Mr. Poopy Butthole making an appearance every now and then? Here we got a couple more. We got Friday the 13th. That was a fun release last fall. Those sold out really fast. Yeah, 21 ounce red cast heavyweight denim. That was a fun one for us. Tatami Hyperflex stretch selvage. This one really the tatami one came out really good because, not only do you have back here it looks like tatami mats, the texture of the paper also kind of looks like a tatami mat. So that was a really nice pocket flasher there. We definitely keep those things into consideration. Firewall, the recycled denim was a really nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that pocket flasher.
Capture that spirit of the jeans.
And you got that kind of recycled looking paper on the cardboard there. That one's really cool. I would really, again, if we ever make a Naked and Famous Denim book, these are the kind, these would be such great things to have. And each jean, we do a different pocket flasher for, which I think, I actually spent a lot of time coming up with. I don't design them, but I work with our designers, giving them kind of the design inspiration for that. So I got to come up with all kinds of themes and stuff for these kind of things, and it does take me quite a while. But our guys are so amazing.
Yeah,
incredible.
This series is pretty.
Yeah,
cool
the red the colored core. Although I think we might have changed the design. This design we used for a while, and then we would just change the color. But I think for rainbow core we did a different design, and I think red gradient core might be a different design coming for the fall. But
because these are these are just one colored.
Yeah. So, anyways, the original. No, I wonder for the original red core, It was that was a Brandon design one. It just said red core denim.
Right, yeah.
Then we came up with the cross
I
section
think
here.
this is from like the blue core.
Might have been.
Yeah. Green core. Core.
Forever Blue. Remember that one? We got to do another denim like this.
Yeah.
Right.
People keep asking about it.
Yeah.
Vulgar 2.
Vulgar 2.
I don't know why
Vulgar
we don't
3.
Have 3.
Yeah. it was very similar. I mean, it just changed it to 3 and then...
one was...
Maybe we changed the color a little bit, but yeah, the Vulgar 2. Oh,
Duck series. Oh,
the milk. Yeah, this one was great.
The milk and then...
Strawberry milk.
It's just a different color, but these are great.
Yeah, these are fantastic. This graphic is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy that we got to reuse it. We do have to come up with the chocolate milk one next, and then obviously we'll make it like, brown colored, so that'll be a lot of fun. So
yeah. So this was the rainbow core.
Yeah.
It's more like a very different.
Yeah, very different design detail there. Oh, Huntsman.
Yeah,
this one was a good one. Check that one out. The Huntsman Selvedge. Yeah, you know what? Also, some of these have never been that's been folded, right? Like if you want old, I can imagine in 100 years. I'm presuming a lot, by the way, that we're going to be a famous brand in 100 years. Hopefully. These are going to be like the rarities. Oh my God! Look, an unused card.
I don't know about that.
I hope so. You know what we do? Also, before all the pocket flashers come, like from the printer, like we get a giant piece of cardboard with all the pocket flashers printed on one thing. That's the big proof. Yeah. That I think would be kind of cool to print out as posters. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much you guys would want these.
Each season will have all of the seasonal jeans
in one giant poster. I don't know if that's interesting to you guys. Let me know. We might be able to print off a couple of those. But yeah, I think just for our own archive, I think we should do it and then hang them up on the wall in the hallways each season. That would be kind of fun. All right. No JoJo secret release. Wink, wink. No wink, wink. There's no secret release. Some people might think Dio is coming, but Dio is definitely not coming. Yeah.
Okay, that would have been a good one.
It would have been a good one, but just the way the agreement is working is just...
Yeah. There's also, six jeans coming.
Yeah,
That's
there's 6.
Already a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a big collection, but it's all Joe's. It's just, it's all Joe's. So... No Dio. I would love to do it. Make it a 7, but it's not happening. I promise you, there's no wink wink. It's just a 6. Will Sox, will JoJo's release in the order that the Joes come in the TV show? It's looking like that. But
who knows?
We'll let you know. But yeah, they won't all come out at the same time. It's going to be a many week release type of deal.
Hopefully everything, if everything comes in order, that's great.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult for us to be that organized.
Yeah. It's also because fabrics are coming from different mills, and if
exactly. So we can't just hold it until the proper one comes.
Yeah. And right now also with global shipping, things are still delayed. I remember at the start of the year, that was definitely front page news, a lot of, talk about that stuff, but it's still the same thing. Getting stuff on
backs up, so it actually is getting worse, to be honest.
So, we're, for example, right now, we're just waiting for our Spring-Summer 23 sample. So we finished designing the Spring-Summer 23 collection. We ordered our sample fabric. That's being produced. We're going to get it. Even our sample fabrics have been delayed. So, our sampling is not going to be on. If this was if this right now was a typical, market season, by market means, we go to different trade shows around the world. We're sitting on June 10th right now. We should have all of the samples right now. Right now, today, we don't have any samples yet.
Yeah.
Right? So they're going to start trickling in the next couple of weeks. We're looking into getting stuff around mid-July. So we'll be showing Spring-Summer 23 collection to our, retail partners, in the middle of summer, which on a typical year before, all this stuff was happening, we would be showing at the end of June. right? So it would just be like a week and a half from now where we would be going to Paris kind of thing.
To be fair, sometimes like on the day we leave.
Yeah, we're just getting the last pieces in. But like this is particularly late, and it's just, indicative of the current situation in the world. And when we start showing, by the time July rolls around, like mid-end July rolls around, when we're showing the collection, we're going to have to do all of our, we're going to have to order all the fabric, right? A typical, selling season for us when we're showing these items to our guys, we have some time to kind of collect orders and gauge what's hot, what's moving the most, how much of this do we need, but we will have no time to do that. It's going to be completely based on guesswork, how much we need. So there are situations where, we might have a hot selling item, but we've already committed to the factory, this amount of fabric. And, there's minimums for those fabrics. So, you commit to a certain amount of fabric for a certain production lot, you're locked in. And because they're making fabrics for everybody around the world, they have their production time slots. Give us what, your order for what you need. We're going to slot it in. And it's not like you can, just add another 1,000 meters or 2,000 meters as you feel. They don't have the production space for it, right? That space is reserved. So if you need it, they're going to say, okay, well, we can give you this next 1,000 meters maybe 4 months later. But 4 months later, it's too late, right? So, we get into a situation where we've ordered X amount of fabric, but we've sold, we could sell out of it in the pre-booking situation, right? But we like to keep a little extra stock. That way people can reorder and, we can, feed the demand. But things are getting a little bit tighter, and it's just harder to gauge, interest when the lead times right now are as tight as they are, right? We used to be able to get fabric within like 3 months. Now, half a year to a year.
3 months just on the shipment.
Right. Yeah, just on the water now. Yeah. So it's things are tricky for production planning, but we've managed. I think we had a couple of
I mean, the fact that we haven't released all of the spring
summer
yet was because of that, because some fabrics just came in late.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll just come out of this
we're a little bit more prepared for fall.
Yeah. But to be fair, the fact that we have to secure the production slot and all of that things ahead of time was happening before the transportation, a shipping delay happened. So we've been working really way ahead of schedule because there's only so many shuttle looms being run.
Yeah. You got to reserve that space.
Yeah.
You got to reserve the space. Otherwise, you get. I mean, they can't do anything. There's only so many shuttle looms.
Right, exactly. It's not like you got to come in on weekends and, do it. It doesn't happen like that. So,
Okay. Todd Hackett. I missed the info on the Groovy Guy. Is Bayzad wearing them? Can someone fill me in? I was wearing them yesterday. If you go to my personal Instagram, BayzadT, BAHZADT, you can see a photo of me wearing them. I was just basically, I've been losing a little bit of weight recently, and that particular jean has been, I haven't been able to wear it for a while. So anyways, I'm finally able to get back into it. I like wearing it. I want to fade them out because I've always wanted a really heavily, beautifully faded pair of flared jeans, really 60s, 70s style. And so that's my project pair for that one. And I'm almost there where I'm at the point where I could really, they're a little tight, but I could get into them. I'd like them to be a little bit more comfortable. I got a few more pounds to drop, but
those look good, summer jean. It just looks good. Well,
good with a vintage T-shirt and stuff. It's such a look, right?
Yeah.
So I want to get back into them. You could be a beach bum in them. You could wear them with boots. There's so many different ways to wear that jean. It's a little bit more it's out there, right? It's out. When you're wearing those, you're wearing those, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a regular bootcut jean. It's a flared jean, right? I mean, they're not bell bottoms.
No.
Right. Like if you wear them with like a Chelsea boot, you're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a look. It's definitely a vibe. Where was I going with that? I gotta lose a little bit more weight on them. Then they're gonna be perfect. Natural indigo. I want to fade them out. I want to have that vintage look. And then once they're like all faded out, then you put some embroidery on them and like really, really jazz them up. So they're available in a few fits, in a few fabrics: left hand twill, natural indigo. I think so. Is that it? I'm doing a solid black, so that was supposed to come out before the summer, anyways. Right. I got to talk to Brandon, see what's going on with that production. But there will be a black version of that as well. So it's not our best-selling fit by any means. It's definitely the kind of jean to own if you want to go for like a vintage kind of look. Again, this is maybe part of the storytelling on our end that we need to do a little bit more of it, like how to style that. But yeah. I think when we're in Montreal, we're going to have a lot more time to create video because there will be more of us and more cameras and like access to, space to do all the kind of video work we want to do. So, yeah. Hopefully we can get to that one, that topic. Todd Hackett, I love the look of faded flared jeans from the 60s and 70s too. You didn't cuff them. They have a little cuff on them actually when I wear them out, or sometimes I just wear them long. I grew up wearing jeans like that, and I guess we all just shredded the back of our jeans. I don't know why we all did it, but we all just wore the crap out of the back of our jeans.
That was the thing back then. Like now everybody cuffs them, like everybody wear a little shorter than but back in the days, like it had to cover, like you can't.
It had to go to the floor.
Yeah.
Right. The bottom of the hem touched at minimum the bottom of your shoe, right? And then, we would the back would get eaten up because they would drag.
Yeah. It wasn't like a specific group of like styles. It's just like
everyone did it. Yeah. Brainstir. And when it rained, you had wet ankles and calves. Yeah. Right. That was it.
Gross.
I don't know why we all did it, and we just like
it wasn't a conscious decision either. It was like that's how you wear jeans.
Yeah. Philip Edgezak, I did the same thing. Born in the 90s. Right. Yeah. We all did it. That's a weird thing.
Collectively.
Yeah, collectively. I'm just trying. Like, it wasn't trendy. It's not like some celebrity was doing it.
No.
It was just
the way.
Yeah, it's just the way it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I had some jeans where what I would do is when the back got eaten up, I would put a new piece of denim back there, and then that would get eaten up, and then I would put another piece on top of that. So I just had like these layers of fabric that were built up.
Like a tree.
Yeah. It was like building bark.
Yeah.
Invis Ian's guilty for walking on my diesel Zaffs. We all did it. Oh yeah, the Zaff. Remember the Zathan fit diesel? That was a big one for us. Philip Edgezak with chucks or skate shoes. Yeah, that was it. Jameson Keating, we all did that until the advent of skinny jeans. The skinny jean definitely killed that because now the bottom of your jeans weren't touching the floor anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, right 75, treading on the back and nearly tripping over. Yep. We were all there, it sounds like. This was during the Levi's capital E era. I remember that. Yeah, there was a lot of different, like, I would give it before that time, but like, mid 2000s. I think who said it here, but the skinny jeans are basically what killed it, right? Up until that point, it was a lot of boot cuts, a lot of like straighter wide leg jeans for guys. Like super baggy jeans were still a thing, but things are starting to trim down just a bit. And then once they finally did, I remember, I was at Diesel at that point when skinny jeans were coming in, and we were still selling we were still selling boot cuts all day long, right? All day long, like at least 50% of the sales were boot cuts, And then, straight legs were there, right? And then the skinny jean was still a minority. But, like, all the, like, trendier folks were getting into the skinny jeans. And it was just, obviously that's just the way things trickle down. But I remember the very first pair of skinny jeans we got. And it was from a brand called Cheap Monday. Remember them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Cheap Monday. And I remember putting them on, coming out of the change room, and it was like me and like my coworkers, because we just got them, and we're like, "What on earth are these?" Like we were like,
yeah,
we were
like,
shocked. Like, is this a men's jean? Like we were like, how is this possible? And I came, and they were painted on. I mean, these were extremely skinny, and they had like a drop crotch like down to my knees. And I'm like, I come out of the change room, I'm like, we're all looking at each other like, how are we going to sell these? Like, nobody's going to buy them. And admit, nobody bought them. Like, nobody bought that jean. And they were cheap. I mean, the name, they were definitely, like, I don't know how much they were, under $100, like
right.
$70 or $80. And, like, even then, we couldn't sell them. Nobody wanted them. It was way too ahead for the time. Even though, to be fair, that fit probably wasn't great, whatever it was that we had. But, yeah. I remember it being a very difficult thing to get people into. Mm-hmm. And then it just took over. Mm-hmm. BD, my Okayama Spirit 4s and Toxies are getting the wear lines from the cuffs. All right. Yeah, you can definitely get some cuff fades. Those are always good fades. James and Keating, dude, your Toxies are looking so good. Absolute legend at BD. Yeah, you got to follow them on Instagram to get the updates. We do, if you tag us, Naked Famous Denim, with any of your fade updates or anything like that, fit pics, I share a lot of that stuff. So, keep tagging me. I share stuff pretty much every day. Todd Hackett, I remember going into Diesel with my friend and being in awe at the jeans covered in dirt. We needed them. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like we were
disgusting looking jeans.
And they were expensive. The more dirty, the more expensive they were.
Oh, I mean, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. I remember when I worked there, I would wear, there was a jean I would wear called the Thinaz. That was the skinny jean. And there was a wash called 71J. And it had it was a super bleached out wash, and it had bullet holes in them. Like it had these holes all over the place that were then patched up. Right? It wasn't it was the most unnatural.
Was it supposed to be bullet holes?
I don't know what they were supposed to be, but they had all these holes, just literal circles all over the place, and then they had patches behind them. But we sold that wash. We sold like crazy. We sold it like crazy, and I remember wearing those and having some beat up dirty boots and a long grungy flannel, all Diesel, the whole head to toe. I was working there, and I remember and had my scraggle beard and long hair, and I was sitting on the subway, and I just remember this lady, this kind lady, comes up to me with some food, and she's like, here, and I'm like, oh no, this isn't what you think, right? I'm like, I didn't explain anything to her. I'm just like, oh, no thanks. I appreciate it, but no thanks. I'm just thinking to myself, wow, this is at least $2,000 worth of Diesel stuff on me. And I'm like, and I look homeless. I've achieved it. I was like, oh God. But yeah, that was a rude awakening. Maybe she was trolling me. I don't think so. But
no.
Yeah, I thought it was very funny after. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. It's a very funny story.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of still is that, really expensive stuff. Of course, it makes sense because there's so much work that. Yeah.
But there's an authenticity to worn-in garments, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously, there's a fine line, that we're kind of crossing there, but even with Boro fabrics and things like that, that was a fabric that wasn't from the high class. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, these people couldn't afford new fabrics. Right. That's why they made these. That's
So old Japanese Boro blankets, and it's all just patchworks of old fabrics, put together, right?
I'm surprised.
All right.
But yeah, like it's, there's a hole, you patch it up
Yeah.
like that.
So
And
you stitch it together, you put these pieces all together, and, this to me is beautiful, right? But, like, I can imagine, when people were needing this,
yeah,
the
those are people who
yeah.
were, who had to
Who had to
do this, yeah.
The people who were on top weren't looking at that like, wow, that's amazing. They were
Yeah.
like, I would never wear that.
Right.
That's not for me.
But also, like, because it's such a time-consuming thing to do
Yeah.
all these things, and obviously, if it's mass-produced, it will look like it's mass-produced.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to make something like that, authentic-looking things, then it will end up being, like a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of a funny thing.
Yeah. I mean, BD asked the question, how does wait. There's a question. The questions keep moving now. I'm trying to find the question where it was, but somebody asked, I can't seem to find it where it was, or like when did like pre-faded or ripped jeans become popular? And like washing was one thing, right? Like, you in the 80s, you were getting like acid wash, and like people were experimenting with washes. Mm-hmm. It was more than just rinse wash at that point. You in the 70s, you were getting rinse washes, but you were also getting different colors of denim at that time. But like the heavily distressed stuff, that was like late 80s into the 90s when you were starting to get rips and tears. And even then, like the torn up stuff, I think the really extreme torn up stuff, that was like late 90s, early 2000s when that stuff really came in. Again, back to my days at Holt Renfrew. And I think that this was like the heyday of like, there was in the early 2000s, there was like this big boom of premium denim, like humongous boom of premium denim, and like all these different brands kind of came out of the woodwork, and it was all about washes. Washes were the biggest things, and like the most distressed, the more distressing you could put on, the better. The more crystals you could put on a jean, the better. Like there was a lot of weird trends that were going on, and I remember very vividly. We got these. Remember the brand True Religion? Mm-hmm. They came out with these jeans and like big flares, and they kind of looked vintage. I mean, they definitely had like a lot of vintage inspiration to that jean, and then. Like the first kind of deliveries were, I wouldn't say they were normal looking. They had those big pockets with the flap on the back, with the big, kind of curved. It reminded me of the Levi's actually arc on the back. I think that was their intention, but the way the pocket for flap on the back looked. So, they had these kind of vintage touches, and then they started coming out with these extreme washes, like literally like. The frickin' jeans were like holding on by a thread because like they were so distressed and like so processed with the washing, like the denim was like paper thin. The knees were all busted out, the thighs were all busted. It was just basically shredded material you were looking at. I remember getting them at like $450, $500, and like they were expensive. And like people couldn't get enough of them. Mm-hmm. Like, we were selling the crap out of those things. Todd Hackett writes antique denim. That was another one. Very like fancy pockets were big. Distressing was big. Every kind of thing you could imagine just had like its moment. Like,
but because everything was new. Like if you think about it, like we go
true.
back and like like you were just mentioning, like every decade, like few years, like we would have a new thing of denim. Like I think that was happening. That was like from the like stone wash to like acid wash to like all of those things, and then we went to like just bedazzling and all of that, and then like it went back to raw denim.
It went full circle, right? Like it went from like all of that stuff being every little new innovation, torn, high distress, like mud, crystals, crazy embroidery, and then it went like. At that same time, raw denim hit. Mm-hmm. And it was like, because everything in denim had to hit at that point because denim was so big. And then, like, raw denim was, like, the anti to all that. And that's really when I got into it. Mm-hmm. Like, that I was just like, wait a second. right? You know, I worked for Diesel, but I was wearing raw denim at home, you know? And even before I was at Diesel, I was wearing some raw denim, but it was the anti to all of that stuff. And it was like, wait a minute.
We're sick of this craziness.
But I'm sick of wearing somebody else's fades, right? I'm sick of wearing, and like, there was like a not uniqueness to all that pre-distressed stuff.
Mm-hmm. Everybody has seen, you know, like, you still see, like, jeans that are, like, that are not properly faded.
Oh, it's
like,
so funny to look at.
It is very sad.
Yeah. When they have, like, the knee fades in the wrong spot, and like, you know, sometimes they'll have, like, you know, the honeycombs in the back of the knee, and they'll just have them, like, on the entire back of the leg. Like, they're doing all the fading in all the wrong spots. It's really funny to watch, but, like, if you went and you bought a pair of, like, you know, torn up, ripped up jeans and you think you're being unique, it was like, yeah, but, like, there's a whole stack of them over here, and every day we sell them. And, like, it would be funny because, like, you know, we had on a Saturday afternoon when it was busy, you know, our clientele, they come in, you get all these people wearing the same stuff. Like, it was like the same, like, rocker t-shirt with the same, like, you know, torn up jeans, and that guy has, you know, a different color of the same torn up jeans with a different rocker t-shirt. And, like, everyone was just coming in, everyone was wearing the same stuff. And, like, you know, we're on the sales floor, like, we notice it, you know, or you start to, like, hey, it's not that we make fun of people, but, like, there are certain kinds of customers who are just like, you know, oh, I've seen it, so I need to go and, you know, basically emulate that thing now. And, like, that's the hot new thing, so I got to come and buy that thing. So, you know, it just, when you're a salesperson, like, you don't want to become that guy. So, like, you start being like, I'm not going to wear any of that stuff, right? Yeah. And anyways, we all, I remember our staff members, we all made that conscious decision, we're going to wear raw denim. But we also just wanted, like, my fades to be my fades, your fades, your fades. And, like, you know,
even if it started the same, like, at least we're wearing something different now, like, after.
Yeah, like, you know, if I had a friend who smoked, you know, his back pocket, he had his cigarettes, you know, and, like, or whatever. Like, we all faded our jeans differently. And so I really, that's really what caught me, you know. I wanted to have my jeans.
But going back to that, like, when Diesel was huge, like, because, you know, like, all these other brands too, like, they're mostly, like, Western brands, and they make, you know, things that matches Western bodies. So, like, in Japan, like, you would always see these people, including myself, but, like, who has the knee fades and then the honeycombs at lower part of the jeans because they're so long and, like, we're all short and our legs are short too, like, proportion wise. So it was just such a, like, sad time in fashion.
Right. It still happens, but
that you're constantly reminded that your legs are too short.
Right. But some people didn't even know. Like, you know, we know what those fades are because we know, but a lot of people just, they don't know. They just think it's a pattern, right? They don't understand that, like, that's supposed to be your knee, and, like, those little cross hatches behind your leg, that's actually fading from behind your knee, because they've never faded a pair of jeans before. They don't really know, right?
Yeah, like, maybe there's, like, you know, like, these whiskers and stuff like that, but, like, knee was, like, you know, obvious, like, that, you know.
I guess so. Jason Keating, I 100% quietly judge people's pre-made fades that are on the wrong spots of their legs. It's the snootiest I've ever felt. LOL. I mean, it's yeah, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look at horrible jeans on people and I'm just like, oh, those are terrible.
Yeah.
But, you know, what am I going to... I'm not going to say anything. I'm not gonna, obviously. Excuse me, sir. Those jeans? No, bad. Also, you never really, I mean, not that I would ever recommend you tell somebody that their outfits are terrible. Ever. Don't ever do that. Just, you know, you win more people over by showing, right?
Yeah. Even like with my good friends, I don't tend to, like, unless it's a compliment, I don't say anything about, like,
unless if it's a close friend and, like, you know, I'm kidding around with them. I'm not really kidding around with them. I might be like, hey, man, what's with those jeans? Because I'm the jean guy, you know? Like, you know, they know. So, anyways, I'm like, yo, we gotta get you some better jeans. Yeah. And then we do. And And they're like, oh yeah, I know. I was meaning to ask you. Okay, yeah, don't worry, we'll take care of you. The Beast 2500. Isn't the homeless look basically what Yeezy clothing aims for? I don't know about that.
No, but that's what I was trying to say earlier, is that like it's still that like that, you know, I think it's part of it is the, again, like if you want to go for the casual look, like a lot of the times you end up like, you know, like
I think it's a
well worn kind of thing. Yeah, vintage inspired, those kind of details. It becomes like the thing to look up to, kind of.
Vintage is definitely where, you know, it's really having a moment right now, especially in mainstream. Like for like the denim people, like we've always had a certain appreciation for vintage, and like when it comes to like streetwear and things like that, I think that, you know, now more than ever, like retro is very big for a lot of these people, right? And so, you know, when you look into retro, you know, like, they're getting to the age where like their Pokemon cards are like nostalgic for them, right? So they just look back to all the stuff at that time, and they want that stuff again. And, you know, around that time when they were kids, you know, it was like, you know, hip hop culture, a lot of like, you know, the 90s culture was still, you know, the early 2000s was still the 90s. You know, to me, you know, I find that the decades are always like, they really kind of start in the middle and they work their way up into the middle of the next decade. You know, it's kind of funny whenever you see like sometimes people like make these 90s graphics and it's all like 80s stuff. Like, you know, they got the little squiggles and like, you know, like.
That's just like a misunderstanding,
yeah.
though. I think we're kind of rewriting history.
Yeah, like 85 to 94 was the 80s to me, right? And then like 95 to, you know, 2004 was the 90s. Like it really, anyways, people kind of mix it up, but my own thinking. But I don't know where I'm going with this. I just lost my train of thought entirely.
But
the vintage stuff, right? Yeah, so, you know, they're looking at band tees and a lot of the stuff that comes from the 80s and 90s, and like when they're able to get it now, like it's all worn in and stuff like that, and like there's a nostalgia to that. There's an originality to that. Like when you get an old tee, you're like, well, that's the I'm not gonna find this ever again. Like this is the one of one, right?
Yeah.
Even if it was a T-shirt that they made 100,000 of back then, right? Like, you know, the fact that you have it right now, and it's not like you can go to the store and buy this thing. So like there's a value in that. There's a authenticity to it as well.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that we like about vintage jeans. Like, you know, if you find a pair of like worn in vintage jeans, like, you know, that might have been a throwaway, you know, nothing for the person at that time. Oh, I wore these jeans out, you know, they're garbage, right? I paid $25 for these, you know, they're done, right? But like we get it now, and we're like, we see that it's been lived in. It has this unique, you know, fade pattern or whatever to it.
Because you can't get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You just really, somebody had to put in the time, and I guess that's where you come back to, like, you're looking at those things that really well worn and trying to, you know, make that in mass production, and then you're just doing wrong. But I think it also comes from just, you know, like, it's so easy to get brand new things and so cheap to get brand new things all the time now, that, like, you know, things that look like it's being, you know, loved and worn, and you know, those things, so we kind of have, you know, see value in those. Because...
Right. So when people make, you know, like a Yeezy or, you know, sweatshirt, and it's, you know, distressed or worn in, or like, you know, whatever it is, like, I see the value. I understand where they're coming from that, right? And like, you know, some people will go out and try and find the authentic, you know, Champion sweater from, you know, 1970 to get that look and feel. And then there's people who are like, okay, well, to be fair, I mean, Yeezy, you're buying a lot of the design, right? Like there's an exclusivity factor to that as well. So like let's not, you know, we're not kidding ourselves that it's just, now I can get a new version of a vintage sweater. Like there's a lot of things mixed up in that, you know, in the high fashion world too. But I mean, I would personally, like I love old stuff or anything that's made the old way, right? Like if it's made now, with the proper old way, like that's new vintage to me, right? It's not just going to the mall and finding to be fair, in 20 years that mall sweater is going to be a vintage sweater to somebody, right? But I look at like new today that was made the way 50, 100 years ago. Like I like that stuff. That kind of stuff really gets me excited. Johnny Crumhorn. I was looking at a bunch of old hockey photos, and 1983 looked like the 70s. Oh yeah. Also,
when you look at
whenever you look at old, like, there's something about the 80s and 90s of even 70s, 80s, 90s. I don't know what it is about this generation of young people, but everyone, maybe even my generation of young people, we looked like kids. Right? If you look at those old hockey player photos, like those guys might be 23, 24, but they look like they're 45, right? They got thick mustaches and big hair, and they just don't look like babies. I don't know what it is about the world now.
Yeah, people age like maturity level, like inside also, but outside too. Like I think people mature really late, like. It takes time for them to become adults. I think it's just like, because we're pushing the like people are getting married later, like having kids later. All of that is affecting how we present ourselves too.
Maybe. Chris Knoll, this is a good one, and I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna pre-disagree. Rich people seem to be intrigued by the idea of looking dirty. I don't think so. I think it's they're more, not they as a whole thing, but generally speaking, people are trendy, right? So in the 80s and 90s, quote unquote, rich people were yuppies, right? They were wearing tennis, tennis shoes and blazers and Ivy League, and that was the style. And if you looked like, what's that? American Psycho, they're having dinner at, was it at Dorsia? Maybe it was at Dorsia. And there's you have the yuppie crowd and all the suits and all that, and then you have the artists who are there. And it's just like, nowadays there's no, people wore their uniforms, right, in society a lot more, right? If you were a punk rocker, you're a rocker, you wore your thing. You were hip hop, you had your outfit. If you were, a different class or whatever, like you were a preppy, you wore preppy clothes. And now it's all mixed. Nobody cares what you wear, right? And now what's trendy is, looking more quote unquote authentic, right? And so, wearing clothes that are looking more down to earth is the way that people dress. But if tomorrow the trend somehow became a lot more preppy, everyone's going to be wearing blazers and ties and shirts and, tennis sweaters and things like that. Like, it'll all cycle. Like, the Ralph Lauren look, it hasn't gone away. It's certainly not as trendy as it used to be. Like, Double RL is more like, more workwear and heritage and vintage inspired and things like that.
That era of the 80s, 90s era of Ralph Lauren is a little bit coming back. Like, we all watch Top Gun. Like, they, what's her name?
That was like American
exactly
Dream.
Like that. And that's, those are the things that we're kind of like, looking little by little, those are coming back big time.
I'll buy pants with paint on them, but I won't actually paint. We're gonna do some painting today, actually.
Yes,
so
I'm excited.
I'm gonna get some paint on my jeans today. We got a washroom to paint. Philip Edgezak. I have a bunch of T-shirts from a small group of cycling rides my parents rode, organized in the 80s and 90s. No one has a Mon Valley Century shirt.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah, those are great. Like, we love.
But I found a bunch of my old
1990s McDonald's high school basketball championship. We got this. We found this jacket at a vintage store, not too long ago.
But I found a bunch of my old swimming days T-shirts. Because I was in a like a swimming, like into swimming, and everybody made like t-shirts or whatever, like every competition or like the groups and stuff like that. And I found a bunch of them and at my dad's home the other day, and I just couldn't I threw some of them away, but like some of them are just like, I'm never gonna be able to get this. It says 1999, like junior whatever competition. It's like, I want to keep that.
Yeah, keep it, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, there's I have stacks of t-shirts. I love t-shirts. I love vintage stuff, and some of the stuff I own has gone from new to vintage, and yeah, I mean, there's certainly a value in all that stuff. I enjoy it a lot. You know, I like fabric and material and clothing in general. This is my life.
Yeah, but those, like, you know, old, when you go to Goodwill or whatever, you see like all these PTA t-shirts or something like that. Those are funny.
Yeah, you know, the last time we were in Montreal, we went thrift shopping, and I have to say we were not very successful.
Right. It gets harder and harder.
Yeah, it gets harder and harder over the years. Also, I find that like more people are aware, a lot more people are aware of vintage clothing and kind of what to look for. So I would imagine that there's a lot more pickers going through the thrift finds. I also know people who, you know, a friend of mine, he was telling me in India, where a lot of clothing gets recycled, you know, they take giant, like, you know, shipping containers or other stuff, and they train the pickers there to look for certain things. So like not that everything gets picked over, right? A lot of the stuff, you know, it goes through like the recycling process or whatever, but they have people that they've trained to go basically go through mountains of clothing and see if they can find certain items, because like they're like, okay, look for this, look for that, and if you find these things, pull them out, you know, we'll give you like a bonus or whatever. And then they go and they resell that stuff on like, you know, the you know, vintage denim, vintage sweatshirt, vintage t-shirt market. So
yeah, there's much less treasure hunting aspect to like thrifting these days.
It's a lot harder.
Yeah,
you know, people know, like, you know, sometimes I'm like, oh, should I like, I like giving information. You know, I definitely told people, if you guys never knew about Fire King mugs, like I've spilled the beans on this many times. Like I'm a collector of these things. We got a bunch of them, but like, you know, every now and then we can find them. But like, to be fair, this last Montreal trip, I think we came home with like 20 of them.
Yeah, we got lucky.
We got lucky. But like every now and then, like you go out and you're like, you don't find any.
But I also think that part of it was because we were in Japan for so long, and in Japan, like all of Fire King is so expensive that, like, you know, before we were kind of like, oh, this is a good price, but we don't really like the design, and it's like we're gonna pass on that. Or it's like, because we just kind of like feel like, oh, holy shit, we can get all this for this
much. The lowliest, like, crappiest Fire King mug in Japan will go for like $30. Yeah, and like this will go for like $80 to $100. If it's brand new, maybe $200.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not joking. Like, it's crazy. The prices are insane.
Yeah, and because we've seen that, I just kind of feel like we have to get this while we can get this.
Yeah, and like Montreal, if I'm lucky, I'll find this for $10 to $20.
Yeah.
Sometimes less. You know, sometimes there's people who are just like, whatever. Like, all I sell is mugs, you know? And they're like, everything's $2. So you go in and you buy every Fire King thing they have. You buy it all. Like, we will buy it all. And then we'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
But
in Japan, it's like a lot. It's anything in general. It's very difficult to get a good deal if it's something of a value.
Yeah. Like, they don't have, there's no Goodwill here, right? Like, there's no, like, regular, like, there's secondhand stores, but there's no thrift shops, right?
I think there is. We call it recycle shops, but it's like they would never have anything.
But they price everything accordingly.
Yeah, and like I think these people who have the curation, like, know what the value. Those people get to their piles first, so it's not like there's any like thing that slips to recycle shops.
Yeah, you're to be fair, like, when you come to Japan, I would definitely recommend Japan's opening up. If any of you ever come to Japan, come to Tokyo area, let us know. We'll meet you up. But one thing a lot of people definitely don't do here, you go to the you do the touristy stuff. For those of us here, we love denim, we love vintage and stuff. Go to the thrift stores. Like, you'd be surprised like how much stuff you can find, and like you're not gonna find it for $2, right? But you're gonna get some things you can get a pretty good deal on, right?
I think
you'd be surprised.
Yeah, it's very like according to like the supply and demand.
Yeah.
So like if what you're looking for is not like high demand in Japan, and there's a bunch of them, then you can get a good deal. But it's only just depends on. It
definitely depends on the demand.
Yeah,
definitely depends on the demand.
Like Champion sweaters are crazy these days, and it's just like, like maybe 3 years ago, like you really could have gotten like a good price on certain things, but like nowadays, like everybody's aware of the value of Champion
sweatshirts, and also just basic, like really basic worn-in Levi's. Really made in Mexico, doesn't matter. $100, $200, $300. Like, I don't know what it is about just like a secondhand pair of Levi's here that came from the States. They're the value, like you will see them in like a proper department store. They'll have like a vintage section. It's just because there's vintages popping, and they'll have them for such a crazy price. And it's like, I'm used to even finding like really good ones like for like $80 max. You know what I mean? Like we knew people, but like we weren't like on like super friends with them. It's like go to the place and like that guy's got some good stuff and like he always has good prices. And like so anyways, it's hard. It depending on what you're looking for. Some things are gonna be crazy. Some things are gonna be good. It's always a. We still go to the recycle shops, the secondhand shops to go and look and find things. Like we found a Hermes bag for like. That canvas bag for like super cheap. I don't remember how much we paid for it, but it was like not a lot of money. $40 or something like that. Victor Colazzo. But it's hard to find clothing for tall and big people in Japan.
I mean, yes. Yes and no. I mean, like a lot of like like 80s, 90s vintage from within Japan, like there are like good ones, but they're all size
small.
Like, the maximum you would find probably is a medium in American standard.
So anything above a 36 might be difficult here. Like 32 is a big size. Like bottom waist is probably like.
Yeah, I mean, like when we have like orders from Japanese retailers, like they would never go over 34.
Yeah. So. That will be a little hard.
Sometimes 32, that's where it ends.
It's like 28, 30, 32. Like, that's all they order. They don't... If you're 34, good luck. Victor Colazzo. Lots of clothing that comes from Japan. Lots of Japanese denim doesn't go larger than 38 waist. Yeah, it's like...
38 is like humongous in Japan.
Yeah. Also, they'll charge you more for like anything above a 36. Sometimes they actually charge you more.
Some brands do
some brands do it. I find it unusual. Like, I've talked about that before, but it's so weird. Like, you're saying, oh well, we're using more fabric. I'm like, yeah, but you use more fabric on the 32 compared to the 28. Like, why are you?
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense. Even it out. But again, in their mind, they didn't even anticipate to make the 38. So the fact that they have to make it now is like annoying to them. And they're like, well, it costs us more, so we're going to charge you more. I'm like, and we don't want to adjust the other prices because it's not fair to all the regular size people. I'm like, I don't know. It's not what we do. We go up to 44. Devin Hurt, you guys got me hooked on Velveteen. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, we have a good selection of Velveteen on Tate Nyoko. Victor Calezio, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong every time. Even lots of Naked and Famous shirts fit small. Some of them might, like the Aloha shirts might be a little trim. That could maybe be like, that could maybe be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, but it's also like, you know, as a society, we're getting bigger. So, like,
Yeah.
you know, if you look at it, like, our shirts from
Oh, yeah.
10 years ago, it just fits, like...
When we started Naked and Famous, the whole, like, fashion world was, everything was trim, right?
Yeah.
Like, and Brandon and me were very trim. So we
Yeah.
really just made clothes to our size. Like, I used to wear extra small in a shirt that we called Slim Shirt, which was... like a darted shirt, like it was tiny.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, the fits were like slimmer.
Yeah.
Like trendy fits are slimmer, but also like the sizing was a little bit smaller. Like
Yeah.
like right now, like the minimum it would have been definitely large or even bigger.
Yeah.
In like today's standard.
Sure. Yeah, it's like sizing's difficult. Like we have an audience, right? And like, you know, I feel like our sizing fits our audience, but like, you know, some people might come in from a different, you know, realm and certain things don't fit them the same way, and
like the
Yeah.
brands that they're used to
Yeah.
or the size
Yeah.
they're used to doesn't correspond to
Yeah.
ours.
And like you can't just make, you know, the reason why we make so many jeans fits is because, you know, a lot of different body types. But when it comes to tops, I mean, you can't just make one shirt that's going to fit everybody the same. So, like, then adding different fits of shirts, it gets complex for us because, you know, we obviously sell more jeans than tops. You know, tops are certainly a strong business for us, but, you know, are we going to add, you know, how many more fits? Like, if we had, like, you know, we have Easy Shirt, which is our, you know, sport collar button-down shirt. No, I wouldn't say that that's a slim-fitting shirt by any means. I find it to be pretty, you know, it's actually, like, roomier than some people might even anticipate just because of the way the back dart works. There's a reverse pleat in the back that like opens up as you move. It's really comfortable. It looks slimmer and then it moves with you. But you know, if you needed a bigger shirt than that, then you know, then we'd have to introduce another fit. And then like, how do we break down which fabrics go in what? And like with denim, it's a little bit easier because like we have such a audience for our jeans that we could pretty much put every fabric in every fit. You know, except for like strong guy and groovy guy and things like that, some of like the niche fits. But you know, when we add true guy, which will be the new like straight leg fit, like everything is going to come in true guy. Like because that's a very, you know, mainstream kind of fit for us. And like again, we sell a lot more denim, but yeah, tops is another story. So
Yeah.
we actually do update the fit. Like our sport collar shirt, you know, it's now called Easy Shirt, but that was regular shirt, and before that it was slim shirt. So we it's gone through a few iterations over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. First name, last name. What's happening with the weird guy when the true guy comes? Nothing's happening. It'll still be there.
It's
You know,
a different fit.
it's a different fit. Yeah. What's the true guy going to be like? Brett Cedarberg. It is going to be I would say pretty regular fit, straight leg jean.
Yeah. So we don't currently we have strong guy, which is a straight leg as well, but it's
yeah.
a very relaxed,
Yeah.
like wider straight leg, and like, you know, like there's definitely a lack of straight fit,
Yeah.
like regular straight fit jeans in our collection.
Yeah, weird guy is like the closest thing that we have right now because it's a
Yeah.
gradual taper. It's not
Yeah.
an aggressive taper. The leg opening at the bottom isn't particularly wide. So
Yeah, it's small.
yeah,
It's not
sorry,
like
it's not right.
it's not a really clearly tapered jeans, but
Yeah.
it's still definitely
Yeah.
not
a straight leg.
straight leg.
So true guy will be the true straight leg jean for us. You know, it's gonna fit over your boots nicely. You can wear it with sneakers. You can cuff it up. So that's coming soon. And I think it'll actually compete well with weird guy, right? It'll be in like because the weird guy is like the everybody fit, and the true guy is gonna be the everybody fit, right?
I think it's just gonna be like the times, you know, like clearly like straight fit is becoming slowly little bit more popular.
Yeah.
So when that progresses a little bit more, maybe true guy is gonna be like, you know, it's probably gonna be like that.
I don't know if it'll ever take over weird guy. Weird guy I think is a fantastic everybody fit. It fits great. And
it shapes like a leg.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point of weird guy. It's just like, no matter what the trend is, like it's shaped like a leg, so it's never gonna be out of style.
So you've got, you know, super guy. I find like it's a very trim fit. If you're younger, you like that skinnier look, we've got you there. But, as I've grown, as many of our fans have grown with us, as you get a little bit older, your tastes and fit also tend to get a little bit wider. You don't want to be as constricted. Fashion doesn't go ahead of function anymore. When you're younger, I know when I was younger, my skinny, I didn't care if they were uncomfortable or not. I looked good. That was all that mattered. So now, I feel like I can do a little bit more of both while I can, feel comfortable in my jeans. I can look good. I also don't, I'm not, when I was younger, I felt like I always had to dress up, really everywhere. I don't know. I was just in that world. I wore my skinny jeans. I had my, this and that. Now, t-shirt and jeans and, sweatshirt and jeans. And, I feel pretty comfortable wearing that as an outfit and being comfortable in it. And I still feel like I look good. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Scott Chamberlain, when I wore slim pants, regular feels huge. Now regular feels slim, right? Yeah, I mean, our tastes just change.
And also, once you get to, comfortable, then it's really hard to get out of, go the other way. Even if the trend goes, slimmer, right. I think it would be very difficult.
Comfort wins.
Yeah.
How saw a guy with 4 months on his new rainbow cords. Inspired me to keep wearing my rainbow jacket even in these hot summer months. Well, I'm glad. And keep us posted with your fade progress as well. Okay. Riley O'Brien, this is a good time to give a tip of the hat to the stack guy. Very comfortable and skinny, drop crotch, so comfy in the seat. That's right. The stack guy is the, I guess, the forgotten child.
But they never go away.
Yeah, they never go away. We have a few stack guy styles coming out. No, we have one new stack guy style coming out for the fall. Which fabric is that again?
The blue smoke.
Blue comfort? Blue smoke. Blue smoke. I don't remember. Right. See, this is sorry, stack guy. Risa will confirm. Yeah, so the stack guy is our drop crotch kind of skinny. It's more of a fashion fit. That fit came to be as a result of a request from Barney's back in the day. They wanted something in that realm, so we developed it just for them. We developed it for them, but not just for them. Blue smoke. So I don't have that sample here, but we'll get to it at some point. But yeah, the stack guy. If you're looking for a skinny drop crotch, kind of more fashion forward kind of fit, we've got you covered there.
People ask us what is your skinniest fit, and it's actually stacked guy because in the leg, it is
tight,
really tight. We can't even make 100% cotton ones because nobody can put the legs through. Yeah. It's always stretch.
Yeah. So there you have it, stack guy. Okay, preview time.
Okay.
Some of these you might have seen before, but if you're new to the channel, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Be a card-carrying member of the Naked and Famous Denim live stream crew by subscribing to the Naked and Famous Denim YouTube channel right now. Do it now. Hit it. Hit the button.
Now.
Okay. And if you haven't hit the like button already, now's a great time to do that as well. Anyways, you guys know the spiel. Hit the like button. It helps people discover and find our channel. It also helps me feel good about how well we're doing. Yeah. I like to see those. The more likes, I know that we're on the right track. Also, I think the dislike guy. Every the last couple of videos, there's been no dislikes.
Nice. Did we convert him or did we drive him away?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not really sure. But yeah, every video, and don't be this person. But every video for a while, because I get the analytics on the back end, I see how many likes there are, dislikes, and there's always literally one dislike. And I'm like, who is this? I'm like, it's got to be the same person, right? It's got to be the same person who's just I hate this guy. dislike. I'm like, why do you keep watching our videos then, bro? I'm like, but yeah. Anyways, if that's you and we've converted you over, appreciate it. You're still welcome to watch the videos, even if you don't like us. That's okay. But yeah, I always found that funny. Okay. We did our spiel. Subscribe, like. Okay, we'll do that one more at the end of the video. So let's go into fall winter previews. I've got a couple of fabrics here. I've showed them off before. We'll start off with this guy. This is the Firebird Selvedge. Bird name again, sorry, but I thought it was neat because it's a very flamey textured denim. You can, like, from far you could even see that. Like, let's take a look at this is another fabric which will show up, but like, a typical kind of raw denim look. And here you go with the Firebird. So I wanted something that with a flamey name to match the flamey texture of this fabric. Interestingly enough, it's not particularly slubby. It is a samphrized fabric, but like the bumpy texture isn't so. It's not really there. Actually, it's actually kind of flat, which is neat because you get the flaminess without the texture, without like the 3D texture. So I think they'll fade in a very different and interesting way, because sometimes you get the bumps and nubs, and some people really like that. I like it, but for those who want something that's a little bit more classic in texture but still has that flaminess, you got that here. So you get a lot of vertical style fading on this jean. You'll get a lot of like. Sometimes I mention like vertical fading, vertical falling. I hope that makes sense to people. Sometimes I use terms. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe some people understand what that is. Some of you do. Some of you might not. But what's going to happen is because you see the concentrations of indigo are heavier here and like lighter over here, the fades are going to be much more pronounced going up and down, because the rate at fade that this is gonna, like the more concentrated indigo parts have compared to the less concentrated parts have, like it'll be much more noticeable. So you'll get a lot of these up and down style fading. We call vertical falling. What other terms do we have for that? Flaminess. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what you mean in the sense that like you can see the trace of like of the fade a little bit more, like individual yarn level.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Anyways, these are all things that need their own own video to describe them and stuff. But
is there an equivalent of because in Japanese we call it like tateochi, is vertical fading, and tenochi, which is like dot fading.
Okay.
Like, so when you see like denim that is not like that, you don't see like the streaks going up and down with fading, that is tenochi, because like you're kind of like seeing it
only in certain
like,
spots.
Like a it's kind of like a pixel art, like you're just seeing the dots that are concentrated in some parts.
Interesting.
So
there's no English term for that. Yeah. I think vertical falling, that's the term I always use. But yeah. We'll have to explain that maybe a little bit more. But yeah, if you want a lot of vertical fading, flamey looking fading, the Firebird Selvedge is the way to go for the fall. Now, next is the Blue Comfort Stretch. Now, we've shown this off before, and this is, it looks like a typical raw denim, dark indigo. It's got a great, crispy look. They're dense. There's not a lot of flop going on there, like, so it feels raw, you know what I mean?
It's like 14 ounces.
Yeah, 14 ounces. Yeah. Now the stretch is 11%, right? So for an 11% stretch jean, look at that. It's got its, body. But this is where like the magic happens, is like, if you want comfort, I think we finally, like, this is, we've done a lot of like high, like power stretch denim jeans, and we've had like the active motion and things like that. They've been around for a while, but and they're great. But I think this is the one that's gonna stick around for a while. Like this one is really gonna be the winner. Like, look, you see that? Look at that. Like it stretches like crazy, and like I'm actually pulling hard, like because the stretch is like strong, right? So because it's strong, it wears and feels like raw denim, right? Like like the flop isn't like like a wash jean or like a typical stretch jean. Like it's still got a lot of body and like crispiness to this. So like it really stretches with you when you need it. It can stretch a lot. It's gonna fade. It's like the proper shade of indigo.
And the what's amazing about this, it might not sound so exciting, but like from like denim development like perspective, anything that has that much stretch in denim usually requires rinse washing because the shrinkage on it is insane.
Yeah.
The beauty of this denim
like
is that
sell it raw.
We can sell it raw. We don't have to rinse wash. You can start wearing them with the the proper starch and everything in them still, but you don't have to worry about like a crazy shrinkage.
Yeah. So sometimes when we work with these stretch materials, like we're talking like 30% shrinkage.
Yeah. 20-30. That's normal.
Yeah.
When it's this stretchy.
Yeah.
But
so,
this is.
So this is a real beautiful blend of like raw denim, high performance stretch. It feels like raw denim. It looks like raw denim. Like, it moves like a stretch denim, fades like raw denim. I'm probably repeating myself. Anyways, blue comfort stretch coming this fall, and like it's heavy. It's dense. It's like I'm excited for this one. This is gonna be a good seller for us.
Yeah, it's also like it's very dark. You don't see a lot of white coming through, so it looks like like a little less casual.
Sure. If you're getting the raw denim for the first time, you want to get somebody into raw denim. This is a great dad jean, also.
Yep.
Sometimes you want to elevate dad style. Like I have to say that we've dealt with a lot of customers like, hey, a lot of us who are in the raw denim world, we want to share raw denim with people, right? Whether it's our partners or your girlfriends or something. Like,
but the hurdle is that like they're gonna be like, oh, what the? It's so uncomfortable. I can't wear them.
Yeah. The girlfriend one's a little bit harder always, just because I find ladies are not used to wearing crispy denim. Like
one denim.
Or one pair of jeans forever. Like they like to have different outfits. Men are very uniform. Like I wear these every day. But like getting dad into that, I think is going to be an easy one. Like the cashmere denim is also a good one for getting dad into. But yeah, so blue comfort stretch, great for so many people. Very excited for that one. And then this one, we've definitely shown them more than a few times, but I'm very excited for this one. So this is the Japan Heritage Kasuri. So dark indigo on the outside from far. I mean, looks like a pretty, classic raw denim jean. And then when you get up close, you start to see those colorful stripes throughout, and you're like, well, why is that happening exactly? For those people who haven't seen this preview before, that's because the weft is dyed with a multicolor yarn, Kasuri dyed. So this is not a Grandrel yarn. This is a multicolored gradient dyed yarn. So basically it's one strand of yarn that has been dyed with a bunch of different colors, and you can see it here. This is the yarn that is used, and then
this is not the exact yarn.
This style.
Yeah.
And you can see, the colors, all different colors on one strand. And basically, if I can line it up right, I can find it. I got a bit of the yarn here. The way it works is, there you go. You can see how here, see? It's the same color on the top and bottom there. That's because they have the yarn kind of laid out like this, and then they dye it vertically. So each section is dyed, and then they'll like move it over, and then they'll dye that section, and then they'll dye this section. So you get all these different colors throughout the same yarn, and it produces this beautiful multicolor stripe interior. And, you know, we're not doing this by mixing different colors of yarn, you know, or twisting different colors of yarn to make one yarn, right? It's not individual stripes. Like those colors change throughout. Miguel Campos, is this going to fade like the rainbow core? No. So the difference between something like this, like a colored weft denim and a colored core denim, is that the colored core denim, you know, what controls the fading of any jean is the warp yarn. So the exterior yarn. So fabrics, denim fabrics are made with two directions of weaving. There's the warp, that's the outside, and then there's the weft, that's the inside. The warp are the vertical running yarns. The weft are the horizontal, they call them the filler yarns. So they fill the denim, and like when you have a red weft denim, that's because you're using a red fill yarn, or like for example, this one we're using a, you know, the Kasuri dyed yarn. So that fills in the weft. The warp is the indigo dyed part, and we use a type of yarn that has been rope dyed. And rope dyeing is when we take the cotton yarn, and it gets dipped into the indigo. They pull it out, they let it dry, gets dipped in again, they pull it out, they let it dry. But indigo, you know, we never leave the cotton yarn in the indigo long enough for the indigo to penetrate to the core of the yarn. So what you get is a white center core yarn with many layers of indigo on top. So as those indigo layers start to fade away, you see all the different shades of blue underneath until you get to that white center core yarn. And that's why your jeans fade, that's why your jeans typically fade from dark blue, dark indigo to white. Now, with the red core yarn, the reason why like the red core or any colored core denim we have fades to a different color is not the weft, right? Because we've already established that the warp, the exterior yarns, are what control the way that a jean will fade to. So what we do is we take that white cotton yarn, and instead of dyeing it in indigo, we dye it in a reactive dye color. Reactive dyes are permanent dyes. They don't wash out. They're stuck. So, you know, we'll put it in red, we'll put it in blue, whatever it is. So for this example, red core. So you dyed in red, it's all red. And then you rope dye on top of that red yarn. So you've got a red reactive dyed yarn that is red all the way to the core of the yarn, and then you indigo dye on top of it. So what you have is this blue indigo dyed yarn with a red center on the inside. And when those blue layers start to fade away, the red starts to reveal itself. So that's why the red core or any colored core denim fades to a different color, and not like you know, a colored weft denim. Now we could do a colored weft denim with a colored core, and what would be kind of funny is if we did like a blue weft denim with a red core and just like really mess with people. Like, why are these jeans fading to this color? Like, but you know, that's how that works. Now you will see the color of the weft show through the twill lines of the jeans, and that's what's happening right here. So if you have like most jeans have a white weft. So you see the white kind of showing through the front face of the fabric. Like if you pass me, so that's why you see the white here, right? It's all white because the weft is white. Here you see the color because the weft is colorful. And if you break this fabric, if you rip it, then you start to see the weft come through. But even if you break the fabric, you know, you'll see the core of the warp yarns being white on the inside. So, yeah, I hope that all makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And somebody asked, like, it's like the candy weft, and the difference between candy weft and this Kasuri weft
is the grandrel.
The way that yarns are, like, yarns have different colors. Yeah. Like Meza showed before, the Kasuri weft is one yarn, like one yarn that I mean, you know.
One strand of yarn.
One strand of yarns with multiple colors in them, different sections.
Yeah. Whereas like a grandrel yarn takes
candy
multiple.
Candy weft was a twist of different yarns.
So what they'll do is they'll take like a blue yarn, a red yarn, a green yarn, whatever, a white yarn, and then they'll twist them all up together. So you have one yarn that is multicolor, but it's not sections, right? It's the same multicolor throughout, and that's what makes the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we call it Kasuri because it's just like the traditional way of having patterns and, like woven into the fabric was called Kasuri.
Yeah.
And Kasuri dyeing, I think it was, it's used everywhere in all cultures, but in Japan you see a lot of it from back in the day. So that's the method that we chose to do.
That's it. Yeah. So interesting dye method. Japan Heritage, boom, together. We got the Japan Heritage Kasuri. That's coming out. All of these 3 jeans are coming out in the fall. No release date set yet. The Japan Heritage Kasuri and the Firebird will be available in denim jackets as well. So, coming soon. Let me see. We've got a couple of questions. I just want to bring up that, and I can answer them. So I'm just bringing up pricing and weight.
Yeah, I had a...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what are we
Japan Heritage Kasuri, ounce, and the weight.
Okay, so... It is 14.5 ounce.
Yep. And then the retail...
Weight. The retail is $272.
$272. So
US.
It's going to be a little bit pricier than some of our typical ones, but you know the story, and you can understand why.
And Firebird is 15.5 ounce.
Okay.
$189.
$189. That's a great price for that. $189 on the Firebird. So there you go. James and Keating, anybody here ever get the urge to just sell off and give away all their pairs so they can focus on just one? No, never. But I can imagine.
Yeah.
There's certain things that, like...
For us, it's the part of our life, so that doesn't bother us that we're buried under jeans. But, I mean, if you have regular life, it must be a lot. Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of everything. Like... I've got hundreds of t-shirts. There's like just racks of jackets. Like we have like, this is our life. Like, and like, it's just like, there's stuff that we own personally, and then there's stuff that we own for reference, and there's just stuff that we have for collection. And like, there's just so many, like, our life is clothes. So yeah, I've sold a few things over the years, probably not enough. But like, there's stuff that like I will just never wear anymore because it's just, maybe I owned it when I was younger and they were trendy. Like we sold some D squared belts the other day, not the other day, but a while ago. But like, I had these giant like buckles from like back in the day from that D squared, and that was a brand I liked. Yeah, they were like the Canadian. I mean, it's the Canadian brothers, but. Yeah, a lot of their products have like maple leaves and things. I kind of like that, but anyways. Can you show the jeans off again, please? Since you said please, Trent Braille. We'll just we'll do a quick flash. Okay. So we've got the Firebird right here. 15.5 ounce, Lisa said. 15 Firebird.
Yeah.
We got the Japan Heritage Kasuri. So that's it right there. Right, with the Kasuri dyed yarns, you can see that on the outside. And then we've got the Blue Comfort Stretch, the 14-ounce high-performance stretch denim that feels like raw, looks like raw, wears like raw. So that's coming this fall. The God That Don't Exist says, I'm sure it has been said at some point, but NK, or Naked and Famous, times Converse collab would be epic. Yeah, it probably would be. I don't know how that would be achieved, and it would also have to be made in like Canada, USA, or Japan. So that would be maybe a little bit difficult to accomplish. Yeah, I think at one point, I don't know. I mean, the discussions were so brief. But it was like with New Balance at some point trying to make some made in USA shoes, but that really didn't go very far. Last time I counted my watches, I had about 80.
Wow.
Rice W5. All right, well there you go.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like when there's so many different ways that people own jeans. Like in this live chat, there's people who are in for like, it's a style fashion thing. Then you've got hobbyists, right? We're really into our fabrics. There's collectors. There's a lot of different, groups of us in here. That's for sure. I come from a lot of that I come from all those mentalities, right? Like I like to look good. I like to collect things and like all kinds of things. And I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to that stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can relate. Like sometimes we watch the show Hoarders.
Yeah.
That's bad TV, but
Yeah.
like it scares me how much I relate to some of these people.
Sure. I mean, we're not keeping trash, but
No, but like sometimes hoarders is just like disgusting. Just holding on to things that just you can get. But there are other people who are just like everything means something to me, and like I'm like, okay, I really need to be careful.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to be careful, but
Yeah.
we do we're very much a maximalists in certain respects. Certainly, I mean, with raw denim and the kind of products that we make, you could build a minimalist wardrobe very easily. Right.
And to be fair, like what I wear day to day is very minimalistic
Right.
in the way that
Well,
like,
we all
I
wear
only
the same
wear
stuff.
same things.
Yeah. Like that's the beauty of raw denim. Like if you're into like owning less, then or even just simplifying like your life,
You
two
can
pairs
have
of
two
raw
pairs of
jeans,
and
a couple of t-shirts, a couple of shirts, you're good to go. You got everything you need right there, right? One pair of black, one pair of dark indigo. You've got a pair of sneakers, you got a pair of boots. Good to go. You're done. 3 white tees, 3 black tees,
yeah.
a work shirt, a button-up, one work shirt, 2 or 3 button-up shirts, you're done.
Yeah. These
Like-
are all good in theories.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to do.
Yeah, it's very hard. Like, you have to be pretty disciplined and like, okay, I literally just wear these same things all the time, which I think you can do,
Oh, 100%.
right?
There's people who do it.
Right.
But
Yeah, but we're some of us in here, we're enamored by like fabrics and patterns, and like we love this stuff. So it's hard. We show. It's a way of our expressing ourselves in certain ways. And some people's expression is I just want to wear basic, simple, great, right? But me, I like weird fabrics sometimes. Okay, I'm a hoarder for 5-panel hats. Trent Braille. Oh yeah, I know people who care. Like I have friends who are like. They have so many hats, like so many. It's crazy. I'm like, wow. Like I have some amount of hats, but like baseball caps and things like that. Yeah, everyone's got a thing that they're really into. All right, it's getting to that time. We've got some warheads. Let's do it.
Okay.
Snack time.
Okay.
We got snack time and we got movie time, and they're not related in any way, shape, or form. A lot of the times you want to, like, snack time's fun when you're eating spicy things, but what about sour things? So anyways, we found some warheads, an American, I'm pretty sure they're American candy, here in Tokyo. And we thought we'd give them a shot. I haven't had a warhead in a while. If you haven't had these, have you had these?
No.
Right.
I don't like hard candies.
Okay.
Because I end up chewing it and regretting it.
Yeah, but warheads are some of the sourest candies out there. Yeah, I love these things. And
we tried like a gummy version of Warhead in Canada. And I was very disappointed,
Really?
to be honest.
okay, well, we've got.
But I mean, this is the extreme sour version of
So
Warheads.
we got a bunch of different flavors here. We've got apple, black cherry. That sounds good. Lemon is probably going to be the most sourest. And watermelon.
How can
right?
a watermelon be
Hey, I don't know
sour?
how you can make watermelon sour, but I think you need to try the
Wait,
lemon
so
one.
like
Oh, wait,
this-
which one's blue?
Blueberry?
Blue raspberry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But blue raspberry. Is this like the extra sour version, right? Like,
It
or
says
is it regular?
I don't know.
Does regular Warhead says extreme sour?
Don't know.
I don't know.
Take a lemon.
Okay,
I think that's going to be the sourest. I'm going to take a black cherry.
that sounds good.
Yeah,
Sounds delicious.
it sounds
Okay.
delicious. So,
This,
did you watch Obi-Wan? I have not. I haven't watched anything.
This packaging feels so like
Shinsi.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very American.
Black cherry, let's do it. Pretty sour.
yellow lemon.
Oh man, that's pretty good. It really just, yeah, you feel it? Yeah.
It's not
It
like
gets sweet pretty
delicious.
fast. The first minute,
The
the first
powder.
second, the powder just really gets you. And then it's sweet.
It's really sweet inside, actually.
Well, there you go. That's a Warhead. If you've never had one of these, if you're in the States, you definitely can find these. These are everywhere. I don't know about Europe. If you're watching from Europe, these might not be as accessible. Here, we found it at like an import shop. So we had to get them. But yeah, Warheads. They make great stuff. If you like sour candy, definitely worth trying.
It's disappointing how not sour the inside is.
Yeah, I wish it would
the candy part is.
they could make it more sour.
Because in Japan, there's like a bunch of sour candy, hard candies, and obviously like the powder part is the sourest, but even after that, those are like relatively.
Yeah, I
like,
wish
sour.
they probably could make it worse. It says on the back, eating multiple pieces within a short period of time may cause temporary irritation to sensitive tongues and mouths. Candy with warnings or chips with warnings are always a good sign that it's going to be a good time.
No, very acidic.
Yeah. There should be a Warhead that is sour to the core. Yeah, I think that would be ideal. If they would make it all like a hardcore Warhead.
Sourcore
Warhead. Okay. Brainstar. I need to get some Warheads now. I think so. I would recommend it. Okay, and then we've got movie time today. Just a fun little recommendation. I thought I had this on Blu-ray, but I don't. You know, I was thinking like, it's been a while since we had like a Hong Kong style action movie that was like very mainstream.
Yeah.
Right?
Crouching Tiger.
Yeah, but this is like this was the time of like a lot of like, you know, this is Jet Li, but like, you know, you had the Chow Yun Fat movies and like Jackie Chan and things like that. Like this was late 90s, or maybe 99, maybe 2000. I don't remember. Somewhere around there. Yeah, 2000. So right in the 90s. Jet Li and Aaliyah. I think DMX is in this one too. Yeah, DMX, Russell Wong. Great action film. Like hip hop and martial arts kind of come together. You know, I haven't watched this in quite a while, but you know, looking at the cover, the wildest action scenes since The Matrix. From the producers of The Matrix. Jet Li is a one-man Matrix. They're really trying to sell you on The Matrix on this one.
It's not a good sign when they have to rely on another movie to sell this movie.
Yeah. I think there was a movie that I liked when I was a kid called Surf Ninjas. And they're like, it's like three ninjas and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles together. I'm like, okay.
I mean, I'm sure that's a good explanation, but it's just it just doesn't show confidence.
Yeah, right. It's a shame that I mean I still own it, so don't you know? I just never I never realized how much they're trying to sell me on The Matrix on this DVD cover. Also, there was not a lot of movies with this style of DVD cover. Remember, a little bit more booklet. It was paper here, had this stupid flap. Although, I don't mind it, actually. I don't mind this at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
DVDs.
Jet Li also.
Jet Li.
Whatever
What's
happened to him?
he up to? Don't know. But I do love a good action film. This is great. Great fight scenes. And I do like the, you know, bringing together of hip-hop and martial arts movie together. It's like, this is the culmination of, like, the 90s. It really is. Like there were so many like Hong Kong like martial arts films, and then hip hop culture was so big, and of course you had things like Wu-Tang that were like, you know, very inspired by, you know, Chinese cinema. Boom, together. This is a great recommendation. Great film. The last fight scene is fantastic. Highly recommended. Yeah, Anthony Anderson is in this movie too. That's right. Remember the football scene when anyway, for those who haven't, this is not a spoiler, but there's a great football scene. Really good soundtrack too. I still listen to the soundtrack relatively often. All right.
Yeah, it's perfect because we talked about the 90s a lot in this live stream.
Yeah.
And we're ending with the 90s.
90s film, in my opinion. It was probably filmed in the 90s, so I'll give it that. So there you have it. Romeo Must Die, Warheads. That's your homework for this weekend. Go get some candy. Go watch a fun action film. All right. Serial Seb, we'll answer a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Serial Seb, that case format was annoying because they were just ever so lightly larger than the normal ones. It made your collection look off. Yeah. This is true. Sometimes you'd get those special editions or whatever, and it's just like your shelf wasn't uniform.
It's one thing if it's wider. That's all you're allowed to do. You can't make it taller. You can't make it shorter.
The European Blu-ray cases are slightly wider than the North American ones. So sometimes I'd find that annoying. But yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I don't think they've ever really perfected the case for films.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I like?
Steelbooks.
But there's the Criterion Blu-ray cases that go all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Right? The plastic goes all the way to the top pretty much. I think that's the best disc case. I gotta show people. No, I gotta show people because people don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, those look good. But I also like the, more special editions, like have the, what do you call it? The cover that you slide in.
Like the slip cases?
Slip covers, yeah. And then steelbook. If I was a rich person, I would get all of the movies in steelbook editions. Because steelbook editions, they usually don't have the writing on it. It's just it's all about how it looks. It's simple. It's, glorious art sometimes. It's usually a better version.
Yeah, so just to wrap movie time up here, Criterion Collection. So there's a company called Criterion, if you can see it. They make, really great movie sets. Their Blu-ray cases, the thing goes all the way to the top here. This is a typical Blu-ray case. So you can see the artwork ends over here, and then you got this blue space. So just that little difference, I like it. The artwork goes all the way. Covers it completely.
Because they were trying to sell Blu-ray, the format itself.
They want that Blu-ray logo there showing. It's
but
okay.
now, I
already know.
We get it. Blu-ray won the war, so.
Yeah, right. And then for those people who don't know, slip covers are these things. And if you're a movie collector nerd, you kind of always want to get the slip cover. But sometimes retailers take them off and throw them away, and they just sell you the disc.
Really?
Yeah. So you don't always get the slipcover. So if you order on Amazon or wherever, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't.
I do hate it when they put a sticker that you can't.
Yeah. Remove on the slipcover. I like the slipcover. I just like it. As you can see, not opened. I got a lot of movies I haven't opened yet, but I've certainly seen this. I just upgraded our copy, but just haven't watched the 4K edition yet. All right. Well, there you have it. You learned a little bit about Blu-ray covers. You learned a lot about pocket flashers. Candy, 90s
Some
stuff.
denim.
Yes, a little bit of denim talk there. Denim Day Donuts. Last question. What's the e-commerce platform of choice to buy DVDs in Japan? Is it Amazon? The real answer is none, because movie prices in this country are so out of whack that you should just buy them on Amazon.com and import them, and they will be cheaper.
Right. But we also buy most of the Blu-rays that we bought in Japan. We bought from a thrift store, secondhand shop called Book Off. They have bazillion of them everywhere in the city, and they sometimes have good prices.
Yeah, sometimes. But if you go and buy a 4K disc in Japan, they'll all be $80, and then sometimes they'll have these promotions where they're $25 or like 50% off, and it's just like then it ends up being $40. But if you bought it on Amazon.com, it'll be $20, $25, $15 to $25. And importing, like if you spend over a certain amount, you know, the import charge isn't like, you know, too bad. So it's always better to import from the States, or we just buy them when we're in North America land, and we'll just come back with like 40 movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't buy a lot of movies here just because the prices are crazy stupid. Don't know why, but they are. Okay, we're gonna leave it there. Thanks everybody for tuning in for another weekend live stream. Friday, well, getting into your weekends. Friday evening, for many of you. Saturday morning for us. Still waking up. Okay, we're gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next week. And have a nice weekend. Do something nice for yourself. Do something nice for somebody. And we'll see you guys real soon.